All right,
You think it
guys,
cuts?
we're back at this again, trying it out. Hoping that we can get a view or two, uh, so that way we can find out if you guys can hear them. It says there's a current view, so let us
It's
know in the
me.
chat. Oh, it's you. Okay.
Let me see if I can hear the thing though. Let me
Nope,
see if I
nope. I
can
lost the
hear.
viewer, so we're back down to zero. All right.
Oh, I didn't get off.
Well, it says connect current viewers are zero, so oh, wait, went back up to one.
It says there's a current view, so it's me. Oh, now I can hear it. You hear it?
Yeah. See, it was it was OBS settings that we have to just make sure of.
Okay.
I don't know why it stopped. It just, but it did.
Okay.
But we're back.
Did we
So,
lose the viewer? That was me.
oh wait, Goldo, hey, how you doing, buddy?
Can you hear us now? Write it on the chat if you can hear us now. Oh, it even
I can
tells
hear
you
both.
like going.
All right, so Goldo, let me know if you can hear our intro song.
Did we lose the viewer? That was me. Can you hear us now? Write it on the chat if you can hear us now. Yeah.
All right, bitch.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's hit.
Goldo.
What he said?
He said he wrote in the chat that bitch ass OBS.
This is pretty cool though. Going live is pretty cool. I mean, we got to troubleshoot just to get here, but
that's what happened with the recording last night. It was the same thing. It was
yeah,
we're just gonna have to make sure all the that the settings are working and everything's good. I'll have to do a test recording so I can hear the recording. Even
yeah.
when
But we did a test recording. We did a test recording.
yes, but
I think what
remember,
happens
we
is
exited
when we
out.
switched it. Yeah,
Yes.
when we exit out and we switch. So
Before I record permanently, anytime we're going to use Zoom, before we do a permanent recording, I'm just going to have to do a test recording for myself and make sure. So,
let me see. I just want to lower this.
who else is who else is out here watching us right now? I see we got a couple viewers. Type it up in the chat pod. Let me know who's out there today.
Yeah. It's crazy how delayed it is when we're actually right now, because I'm one of the viewers, right? I'm watching it because I want to see what the playback and the feedback is like.
Yeah.
I can actually see the live chat. I can actually see it, but nobody's writing. Let me put it over here. And it is very interesting. It's actually pretty cool. For those out there, for the ones that are viewing, are watching it. This is something we're trying because in the future, this is one of the things we're going to start implementing into the show at least once a month. I think we're going to do go live, and the live actually no, once a week.
Yeah.
Because we're planning to do. Yeah, I don't want to give away too much. Once a week we're planning to go live, and it's going to be interesting because I don't want to say it because it's kind of I'm excited about it, but I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah,
anyways,
you
we're just gonna leave it like this. Once a week, we're gonna go live. We'll tell you the date that we're gonna go live, and then you guys that are watching the show, for those people that watch the show, and it's gonna be at night, so make sure everybody's at home.
Yeah, basically, we're gonna do a once a week live show. And we're gonna
exactly.
We got some things we're putting in the works. I like we say on the other channel, we're trying to broaden our horizons and give you guys more content. So our main goal
and involve you guys more.
Exactly. Is how do we get people involved? How can we do things? How can we just have more fun with it? And this is just something that we're trying to test out. And there's going to be some bumps along the road. I mean, give you guys an example. We tried to record a show last night and we were trying out a new platform. And so there's a little bit of a recording error. So I may not make it to tonight's recording. Unfortunately, I know those of you watching this are probably going to be heartbroken. You're not going to have this beautiful face, but we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll make it back in time. I don't know. But yeah, there was a little bit of an issue, and we're starting to figure these things out as we go. But we're trying to enhance our platform and make it better. And these are some of the problems that you come across. Is we don't, we have to go through a little trial and error. So last night was a little bit of error more than trial. Even though we thought it was going to work, it didn't. Unfortunately.
But we didn't have to talk about that because they don't know until tomorrow. Because
Well,
everything is
no,
done
but that's the
today.
point of going. That's the point of
Yeah,
us going
that's the
on here
point of going
today.
live. Yeah,
Is talk a
trying
little
it
bit.
out.
So I want to know, why we're on here, and we got a couple people watching us besides just you and Goldo and
Goldo.
yeah.
So we have two more people, unless you logged in into
No,
your
I didn't
phone.
log in. But I do have a question for you. I wanted to ask you. I wanted to interview you a little bit. This is part of why I wanted you to be a part of it. I have a couple questions for you. Number one, where did you come up with the name Generation Shock? Because I personally love that name. I think it's amazing. Where did that come from?
So the name Generation Shock actually came from culture shock, right? So basically, moving from one country to another, or from one state to another, there's a culture shock. There's a difference of living, and society is a little bit different in every state, and so me being born in the 70s compared to now 2020, it's a totally different generation. And this new generation, the way that we're more in the cancel culture. You got to be careful what you say, more political, and all that shit. So that to me is like, man, that's like a shock to me, right? So I'm like, growing up, we were told straight up, hey, you're fucking lazy ass motherfucker. You do this, or stuff like that, and you had to take it. When growing up, when I was in basketball and all that, I had the coach yelling at me and telling me shit how it is, and hey, you're gonna bench this week, or this and that. We didn't have participation trophies. We didn't have none of that shit. So I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to bring a YouTube channel about talking about that, right? That video games shit I growing up. So it's a different generation. So I discussed it with a couple of co-workers, and I was like, hey, what do you think of Generation Shock? And I'm thinking of creating a channel and calling it Generation Shock. And then somebody even threw out an idea. They were like, yeah, and then you can in the future shorten it to call it Gen Shock. And I'm like, oh, I like that. I like that. So I'll use them both. I use Generation Shock, and I'll also use Gen Shock as hashtag. And Gen Shock might even go down as just a small little, like, the name will start forming into Gen Shock.
So real quick,
but I like Generation Shock.
So real quick, one of the people on here asked, put in a message, and they were just curious. There were coaches back in 10,000 BC.
We were competitive back in those days too.
Okay. So you're around for the first Olympics then, right? You helped to create the Olympics when you guys were running around in just like little speedos and bare feet.
I didn't help, but I did watch, and I learned from that.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
So, all right,
but
cool.
It's and as you can see, it's something we started off with just Goldo and myself. We even started off the first episode. We started off with the first episode about video games because it's something we both love doing, right? But I didn't want to also be tied only to that. I wanted the show to be tied into everything, current events, tech, sports, and everything you can do. So social news and shit like that. Everything that's happening around community. And during that time, I also started thinking, you know what? As an artist, a struggling musician, right? Growing up, there's a lot of shit I went through, right? A lot of shit as a musician. I went through a lot of struggles I went through just to get to where I'm at. I could only imagine the next level up above what we did. So I also said, you know what? I can use my platform also to give people advice, especially those musicians that are trying out there. There's a lot of mistakes we made. And and I've always I always put in my 2 cents to give people advice because, me being the older, I always felt like, I already went through it. If I can give you an advice so you don't have to go through it, or just, help you out. Yeah. So that's why I've always lived like that. Sometimes I'll just say it. If they want to listen, then that's on them.
Well, hopefully that's something we'll be able to do with this channel as we get better, is because obviously, like we said, we're making mistakes and we're trying things out and we're making some errors.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can pay it forward, because maybe we'll inspire somebody someday to want to get on here and, and put their faces out there, even though they're not, so viewable, and talk about some stuff and have a little fun. So, that's something that maybe we can pass it forward or, pass it down later on. So you never know.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So, But yeah, I guess so. So you're saying it had to, I mean, would you say some of your musician background and the the way that kind of life is what led you to want to do something like this, or what inspired you to want to make a YouTube channel and create something like this?
Well, um, the person actually that inspired me to do it, may he rest in peace, is one of my best friends, also a bandmate. He always told me, "Hey, yo, you have so much you have so much knowledge up here to talk about video games, and you grew up on that shit, and you love all that shit. Why don't you just create a YouTube channel about it?" And I'm like, "I'm not into that." He goes, "Yeah, but just do it for the hell of it." I go, "I don't think I'm entertaining enough." He's like, "Let them decide that. Just do it. Go out there and do it, and this and that." So I've the whole time he's been telling me every time we met for years, he's always been telling me, "Yo, start something, start something." And I've always said, "No, no, no." I'm like, it's not something I want to do. And then, it's about to be a year now. It's about to be a year in August. It'll be a year where he passed away, and as an homage, as something that I can, say, hey, it's because of him I'm doing it. I started doing it. Mind you, also, I also caught myself watching more channels like this, like blogging channels on YouTube. I'm like, oh shit, this is pretty interesting and pretty easy to do. All they're doing is having a conversation and talking to people. There's nothing entertaining about it, as far as they're not doing anything magical. They're just talking, and sometimes they'll have co-hosts and all that, and then let the audience decide whether they want to watch or not. And then I see myself doing that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do what Delvis wanted me to do, and I can use this because we used to always have our own little stupid shit. We used to we have funny videos we used to do. It's a lot of shit. I wish this was available to the extreme it is right now, to the popularity it is now when we started the band, because we did a lot of stupid shit on the road that we fucked around with. And I thought it was entertaining. I'm like, man, I wish like social media was this big when we were around, because maybe it would have helped us out a little bit more, get to the next level up, or not even just to generate more revenue.
Well, I've seen that you have a like a little bit of a hobby or a passion to make silly videos to begin with. I mean, I've seen some of the stuff you put out there before, where the aliens are attacking you and different crazy things that you put out there. So it sounds like this is definitely something that that falls right into that category, because you're just into that stuff. So
I just love editing. I think editing, like I've tried doing trailers. I love trailers. I'm probably one of the few people that love watching movie trailers, video game trailers. I'm like, could you imagine, or even NFL stuff, right? Or sports. I'm like, could you imagine me having that much footage and editing it with music and sound effects? I'm like, if I had that, I'd do so much, because I can see, when I hear music, I see pictures. I see scenes. I see that. So sometimes I'm driving on my way to work. I'm hearing a EDM, and I'm like, holy shit, all this visual stuff's coming up. Or I see music videos, right? Or I see all that. So I try to put that into video editing, and like only insiders. This is insider stuff that we did in the group. I've edited all the music videos we've done.
Really? Did not know that.
Yeah, all the music videos that we've done, I've edited them, and that was trial and error, learning, right? My manager did a lot of my music manager did a lot of the filming. We had our own
videos?
Equipment. Huh?
You still
Yeah, I
have
still have
videos?
those videos are still on YouTube.
Oh,
Yeah, those videos are all on YouTube.
Maybe we need to do a tribute episode one day to the band, and you can cut in some of those videos and stuff when you're doing your
maybe.
editing. Because
Maybe.
they're your property, so you can cut it in and add it in. And let's see what the generation looked like back in the heyday, when he's breaking it down and singing to the ladies.
So, and the idea of putting content out there on YouTube and keeping it going all came from that. That's where I learned that, like, hey, we just gotta keep putting shit on YouTube, keep putting shit out there, and just fill it. That's how you mess with the algorithm and all that shit. So all that came from that. So a lot of it's all self-taught. I didn't go to school for it. When I find something I love, I just devote my time to it. I just like I just teach myself how to do it, and get creative, because there's a lot that goes up here and I can't express it. I have to, my way of expressing it is through video editing, or writing, right? That would be the only way I can express it. So my mind's always like this. And I think that's why I have sometimes I have a learning curve, because I can't, let's say, for example, I can't sit down and read a book without my mind already creating the scene in my head. And then I'll be like, oh man, that'll be cool. And then I'll start thinking what else I would adjust as I'm reading. And then I have to stop reading because now I'm creating a movie. And it's just crazy. So it's just
never ending, right?
It's never ending. I feel like I have ADD. I swear to God. It's just, everything just runs up here.
So let me ask you this: you know, about how many episodes are out there now on the? I mean, guesstimate. I'm not exact, but about how many episodes have you produced now for Gen Shot?
With this week coming up, it's gonna be 20.
All right, so we'll take this week out of it. So we'll say 19. Just
so 19,
I know it's just a random question, but what do you think's been your most fun topic so far out of the all the shows that you've done so far? What do you think's been your most fun topic? And then what do you think's been the most fun, the most fun you had on an episode? Because I know those may not be the same. You may, you might not have had as much fun talking about this, but it was your favorite topic versus this was just an episode that you just had so much fun making.
Well, excited for me, the first one. Nervous and excited.
Yeah.
I actually like that platform. If you go back to the very first episode that me and Goldo and I did, the platform, I love that look. And the reason why I love that look is because we had a green screen. So I decided to do a green screen on the TV. And the fact that whatever we're talking about, instead of cutting in and out, I can put it on the screen. And that was the creative part. Okay, what else? That made my job harder because it got me looking for stuff and putting the images out there. But then I started noticing, okay, what else can I do? Let me add more people, right? I always wanted to do a guest, right? So then COVID hit, right? And when COVID hit, we had to get creative. Goldo and I had to get creative, and that was a learning curve, right? How do I do this? How do I do that? Where do how do I use the equipment that I made the investment on, right? So that's just a little bit of history of Generation Shock and the evolution of it. My favorite one is actually like, what was it? It was the first episode that all four of us did that we actually did our research on. It was excited. It was like one of those exciting episodes. I believe it was episode 14. I believe it was episode 14.
What was the topic on that one? That was the Eminem one, wasn't it?
That was the Eminem one.
Yeah.
So I think it was 14. Yeah, 14 or 15. It was the Eminem one, and that for me right there, I was like, all right, cool. That's actually a good. The vibe was really good and all that. So I think adding you and McNutty to the show was a big plus. And the reason why is now there's more opinions. Now there's different type of mindsets and also personalities that brings the show together. And I'm always up to that. I'm always up to, growing and learning and all that.
So let me ask you this then, because you talked about you like the green screen and stuff. Why did you decide to change your location then? Why don't you put that back into your screen, even though we're separate?
Okay, so the reason why is because I'm having issues and I'm trying to figure this out, how to use the actual. I have a camcorder right now. Every recording I do, every recording besides you, the rest of us are using our phones.
Yeah.
Right. And the phone, the further you are away, the quality goes away.
Yeah.
So deteriorates. So if I can figure out a way to get the camcorder to record, and I was having issues recording, transferring the information from the SD card, mixing it with the phone recordings.
I remember that.
It kept on, when I edited it kept on giving me, it was choppy. It felt like there was like,
because there are different
the processor.
Formats.
Exactly. It felt like I even tried changing the format and everything. It just felt.
Are you able to record with MOV on your
No.
That's what
Sony camera?
That's what I'm saying. That's the difference. I'm able to use
it only lets me do it. Well, actually, you know what? I didn't try doing MOV. I tried MP4, and I think it does have MOV because MOV is QuickTime.
So what it is, correct. So what it is when the reason my recording off of my Sony camera works,
Yeah.
part of it is I'm using a third party, but the third party company I'm using to stream to record off of is recording it in the MOV file. So I'm recording it just at the same file format. What I found when I was playing with this when we first started was the MP4 and the MOVs, they don't mix. They're even if you try, and the problem is even if you try to convert it down to an MOV file, because it wasn't recorded in the natural format, it makes it choppy because it has to condense it now, and it just doesn't work. So just look to see if you can find a way to record an MOV off the bat, and that might solve your problem, because that's what solved mine.
Yeah, I'm gonna try that. Yeah, I'm gonna try that. And then if I eventually get into that, I can actually use the format that we originally had with the TV, and since I'm using the microphone anyways. But I like this little corner I'm at. This little corner. This used to be Goldo's corner.
The corner's
this
nice,
used to be
but
Goldo's corner. Like, it has all this in the background.
If you like the idea of a green screen and stuff, that can be able to bring it back. You know what I'm saying? That, or I'll just start turning my TVs around, and you can start editing shit onto my TVs. I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I usually got the logo up. I don't have it up right now.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed.
Because if you see, look, I'm gonna point the camera. If you see that little corner over there, right? That's where I used to sit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my side. It's all empty in the bottom. I would have to create new stuff. I would have to put. Trust me, I have plenty of shit I could put down there.
Though. You're worried about the background. Look at my background. I got a bed over here with a couple dogs on it. I got my shoes down here in the corner. My TV. You know, I mean.
I think it adds to the it just adds to the show, right? The whatever's in the background.
Yeah, like, well, I just need a better background. You're saying, thanks. Okay.
So no, I'm not saying that.
I'll work on that. Don't worry.
I can tell. No, I can tell you're in your room. See, I just like this. I'm more of I like to see like things, but not too much, right? Not too much stuff. And I just love the green screen. There's a part. This is a shit that I thought about when if I would have kept this format. Like there was gonna be an episode when Goldo and I are playing, because Goldo never played NES. Maybe he did, but he never experienced it. I was actually gonna turn on an episode where we were gonna record, and I was gonna turn on my NES and have him playing some of the games compared to now. Because some of the games compared to now are much harder than the games that are now, right? Because remember, back in the days, the video games came with an instruction manual, how to watch each button do. And obviously, with the evolution of video games, it's gotten better. Where now the tutorial, now the manual in itself are built into the game. Like press X if you want to jump. Okay, they kind of lean you into the first episodes. Like chapter of every video game will give you an idea how to press the buttons and all that and what they mean. Before we had to read that, so. I wanted him to experience.
You might have to split off and and kind of create your own little thing. And then, you can have.
Yo, what do you think? I'm a coin this right now. What do you think of? And then remember that background I sent you earlier? I sent the guys earlier.
Which one?
Remember the background I sent with that sunset?
Yeah.
That's gonna be my personal one, right? Because nobody reacted to it. So I'm gonna use that, right? And then it's gonna be called. The only thing I didn't
like was at the end. I thought the logo shouldn't go past the screen. It should have stopped so the logo was still seen completely. That was my biggest thing about it. But no, that might be good for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that, right? And then it's gonna say Generation Arcade.
Ooh,
that's gonna be the channel. Bad. Yo, I'm coining this. If anybody steals that shit, I created that. It's gonna call Generation Arcade, and the reason it's gonna call Generation Arcade because it has to do with video games, and I grew up with arcades. And it's not just gonna be retro gaming. It's gonna be more about.
So you like that better than
gaming?
Generation Gaming?
The name Arcade is just for me. I love that.
Whether you go with gaming or arcade, I definitely think now I get why that's gonna be a perfect intro to your show. Because now that I think about it, that does remind me of that shit.
Remember Outrun? You ever play Outrun?
You want to
the Sega game Outrun?
Want to have a guest caller? Somebody's calling me right now. We can add him onto the show just randomly, just to fuck around.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Remember? You ever play Outrun?
Yeah, I played it. Yo, Kenny, you there?
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, man? Hey, real quick, you're on YouTube.
Yeah, Kenny, you're live.
I'm live. What's going on, guys?
Yeah, me and Lewis are on YouTube Live trying it out a little bit, and I saw you called. We're about to get off here anyway, but I figured I'd get you on real quick, say what up to our 3 viewers. See how it works.
Just trying it out. Yeah, I saw you guys were posting about trying to do like comments and shit. But we're trying to get it live now.
Yeah, we want to try. We're working on
What's
doing
up,
a
Kenny?
weekly thing.
Kenny, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What's up, bro? I haven't talked to you in a minute.
Yeah, I know, man. I got the same number.
I know. So do I, motherfucker. So do I.
That goes both ways. That goes both ways. I do think I don't have your number anymore because I switched phones from iPhone. I'm back to Android, and I lost a lot of my contacts.
Oh, okay. But we do have social media with each other, right? Yeah, we do. No, but it looks like you're doing good, bro. I'm happy for you that you're doing good. You're up on your feet, doing your shit, bro.
Yeah, man. With the post office, probably one of the best choices I made was leaving Best Buy. Love the company, don't get me wrong, but I think for what I needed in life, this job is definitely helping me get there.
Am I still on? Can the people still hear me?
I don't know. That's what I put a question mark about. I don't know.
Yeah, it's because I changed headset.
It might have cut out for a minute. Maybe you're back in. I don't know.
Yeah. It was a 5-second delay. Yeah. So we just talking, trying out live, Kenny. That's all we're doing, trying out live, and then you called in, and then Brian's like, "Yo, let's get Kenny in."
Well,
I'm like, cool with that.
This is part of what we want to try to do, though. Is like part of the thing. We're not announcing it completely, but we want to be able to have an opportunity to bring other people onto it. So this gives a good opportunity. Let people call in.
Okay. Are you trying to do every episode live, or just like every once in a while, just have like a live episode?
No, that's we can't talk about it too much because there's upcoming stuff.
We want to do it once a week, but we're not going to go too much after that.
Yeah, into the details.
It will be like a little once a week thing that we're thinking about starting to create and we're messing around with, and it's a lot of trial and error. So we had to get on here today and play around with it a little bit, because if not, we're going to announce it, we're going to go to do it, and then we're going to fail, and it's gonna be like, oh crap.
These things, right? These things are such a pain in the ass, bro. Like, this is again. This is the first generation of the AirPods that I have. And like, this shit is like horrible. It's just now it's to a point where it's just like the audio doesn't even warn me. You know, you normally get a warning before the battery dies. It just goes, whoop. I'm like, what the?
So.
Yeah. The what? Kenny, you still do a mailman, right?
Yeah.
Yo, he's delivering them packages. That's for sure.
Order and build all these shit. Wait, am I not supposed to say that?
What?
I swore. I don't know. I don't know if you guys are still live.
Yeah, we are. We're about to end it now, though, because we're about to be at 30 minutes, and Zoom's going to kick us off here soon.
Yeah.
So.
It's been great, man. Especially the virus. People are doing a lot of online shopping.
Yeah, you're probably as busy as shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And last day was horrible because day after holiday, it's always bad.
Yeah.
The what?
Day after holiday, all the mail gets backed up.
Yeah, it's just like that now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard things take forever to get shipped now and everything.
But here's the cool thing about what you do, Kenny, real quick, because you get to see nature. I seen some of your videos that you show that you were like, oh, look at this real quick. You get to encounter.
I think it's because I work out in Davenport. Because if I worked in Kissimmee or Orlando, for sure I'm probably not going to see any animals. I'll probably see people doing crazy shit.
Yeah,
but did I see you got a vehicle now? You don't have to use your own?
Not yet, but yeah, we only have 4 so far for our office, but the goal is to have vehicles for every route.
Very cool. That'll be a lot easier.
Yes, and it's new vehicles, like the new Mercedes vans. They got AC in them.
Oh man, you'd be living. That job's going to get a whole lot easier. You put up for a couple of years.
You would. Yeah, you would think, right? With all the fundings that the government gave out, they would do something for the USPS, right?
I'll be honest with you. Trump, not to get too political, Trump was specifically saying in the bills that were coming out, he wanted no support or funding for the post office.
Well, remember the post office.
Of course he did it because he wants to privatize it. That's why.
Well, no, the post office has always been privatized in a way, though. They've been one of the main government.
No, but he wants
that have always been self-sustained. They never really took funding.
Yeah, but they supported themselves with food with the stamps.
Oh, okay,
exactly.
That's different. They were self-sustaining, but if you're trying to make money off them, that's different.
Yeah, because they were self-sustaining with.
Bro, I almost got cut off. So,
okay.
The postmaster general will be like the equivalent of like a CEO. The current one stepped down, and Trump appointed a new one, which is one of his buddies.
Yeah,
so
of course.
I'm assuming the goal of privatizing might still get pushed. We'll see how that goes.
Of course.
Hoping we don't privatize, but hopefully having someone that's has a prison acumen, hopefully they can help get us out of a little bit of the debt that we've been trending.
Well, one way the post office is to generate money is through stamps and all that shit. You know, obviously with the evolution.
The problem
exactly.
With like e-commerce, like Amazon's really profiting off a lot of us. Like,
of course,
we try to do it just to get market share.
Yeah.
They we don't make profit off of their packages pretty much.
Yeah, and that's where it's going, and that's the issue right now, and it sucks because there's a lot of employees in that field.
So, all right, well, you guys don't have to get off this real quick, but I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream because we're over 30 minutes on it, and so I'm gonna shut this down. So appreciate everybody who tuned in. Basically, Goldo, Messiah,
myself,
and the one other person. I don't know who the other person is, but thank you to the 3 people tuning in. We appreciate it. Let us know some feedback on our Instagram page as far as if you enjoyed this or, this is something that you're excited about.
Stay tuned for Generation Arcade.
Oh, Generation Arcade coming soon. Don't forget, Generation Sports coming in about a week or two. Watch out now. We got some stuff happening. All right, guys, later.